Happy Tuesday, December 30th. We have made it to the last week of this year. There's literally 2 more days and then it's gonna be the new year, which is actually quite terrifying. Also very exciting because it's gonna be the start of a new year, new dreams, new accomplishments, just a lot of new things. I've been researching the difference between happiness and joy. I think I started researching it because I just didn't know what the difference was. I thought they were very interchangeable, where you can use them simultaneously or you can just use them at the same time. But they're similar, but they're very different at the same time. So I think happiness is very fleeting. It's very based on like external factors, and it's very short. But joy is something more long term. It's more of a, they're both feelings, they're both emotions, but joy is something that lasts a lot longer than happiness. And I believe joy comes from like working inward instead of relying on like external factors to give you that joyous feeling. And so the reason I bring this up is because I think a few months ago, I was basically, for my next approach to life, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And at first, I was like, maybe I can look for a new job as the next thing I wanted to do, because that's what I've just been accustomed to. But I had a different thought of what if I chased a feeling instead of a job. And so for a few months now, I think I've been trying to chase this feeling of love or just wanting to be loved. And it's been going okay. I've been trying to find like love through like activities, and love through like friendships, and love through like all the smallest things. And I did find love in that sense, but for some reason, I don't think it really matched my thought of what I wanted. And so I think my ambition, or my next thing that I'm chasing, is still gonna be a feeling, but it's gonna be this feeling of joy. The reason why I want to start with this feeling of joy is because I realize joy is very like inward, and in the toughest times, joy is always something that I can like look forward to. And so I think joy is a very healthy feeling to go after instead of happiness, because happiness is so short, it's so quick. And so I feel like constantly getting those like quick emotions of just happiness and hits is good for a while, but in the long term, it's really not the best solution. And so I think instead, if we're still on the same path line of finding happiness, finding joy is the next best option. And so for my outline of finding joy, I don't know where, I think I came across this video on TikTok, which was a snippet of an interview with Tracy Ellis Ross, and she was basically saying, trying to find joy in all the smallest things. And she was asking questions that I didn't really think about. And the main question was like, what do you find joy in? Like, what makes you excited? What makes you lose yourself? Like, you're just like completely lost in it. You don't realize how fast the time is going by, and by the time you look up, you're like, oh my god, a few hours has passed. She was pretty much saying like, what is that makes that for you? Like, what makes you feel that joy? And I hadn't really thought about it. And so throughout the week, I've been thinking of what makes me feel that type of way. And so far, it has been volleyball. Morning volleyballs are truly, at first I hated it because I had to wake up early in the morning, and then traveling to volleyball, and then getting like physically active. But throughout time, I realized it has been something that I've been looking forward to. It's actually helped me the time go by a lot faster. I'd get there at like 7 a.m, wake up at 6 a.m, get there at 7 a.m, and then play for like 2 to 3 hours. And as I'm playing, I just realized time goes by super fast. I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying the sunrise and just the sun coming in as the clouds are fading back into the background. I actually really enjoy it. And so that's one of the things that I do enjoy. I picked up journaling again, and as I was writing my journals and the prompts and all the stuff that came to my head, I was like, this is what I also find joyful as well. When I journal in the morning, I think that's when I find the most joy because I'm just letting a lot of my thoughts just run wild and no one really gets to see it except me. And it feels like I'm honestly just having this conversation with myself. And it's something I also look forward to as well. And so journaling is one of them. And I think the third one are these videos. These videos are actually, they're very low effort. And I think that's what I really like about them is I can just kind of just talk and really get my mind out as well. It's kind of like another form of like journaling, like video journaling. And what I've realized with journaling and these video essays is that they capture a moment of my headspace, of where my thoughts are, of where my thinking is, or who I am at that moment. It's kind of like a photograph where I probably won't think like this ever again. I mean, I don't really think the same thoughts twice, and so it's kind of a nice visual reminder and just like an audio reminder of where I was. And so I think that's also what I find excitement and joy in. And so those are three of my joyful things that I look for. And I'm hoping in the future of 2026 and forward that I'll just kind of collect all these small joyful things and they'll kind of build my foundation of who I'm meant to be in the future. There also was it's interesting what I get on TikTok. They're very like a lot of like inspirational videos or a lot of like liminal related videos, like the in-between space. And what I got recently was a therapist talking about the interim of change principle, which is pretty much basically your current, so this is me like in the center. This is where you are in the present. In the past you have your old self, like all your old habits, all your old system that you've pretty much built up your whole life, and it's there. And then you have this new self that you're basically trying to work towards. As you're going through this change, this old self, you basically not disregard, but you basically let go of all the system that you've had before. And so you're in this stage of just like uncertainty, kind of a little bit scary of just like not really having any foundational systems to basically help you move forward to this new person. Is because this person, this future that you're looking towards, you haven't built any systems for it yet. So you haven't built the emotional supports, like the mental supports, like the physical supports, all the small habits that basically make you this person. You haven't built it up yet. And so you're in this spot of basically trying to build it to that spot. And it's a critical moment because you can either go back to who you were, to that like safety net, or go to this new future that you're looking towards and just don't look back. Because once you head to this new section of your life, you'll look back at your old self and be like, I just don't tolerate some of the old things that I used to. And so I got interested in that like principle of interim change because it also was along the same lines of like liminality or like liminal space, where it's also this in-between space of just like, you're not this old person and you're not this new person, but you're still in this transitioning phase to that new person or to the old person if you don't follow through. I think the way I'm currently seeing it is like you're on your way to Vegas, you're on your way to a trip, and you're kind of stopping by multiple gas stations, just like pickup thing. I've kind of just been in this like liminal space for such a long time, especially with this name change that I've had. It's gonna be a full year next month of being spring, and that to me is actually kind of crazy because at first it was just kind of not a joke, but it was just like what if I just changed my name to a different person, to something that I actually like. And it turned out kind of for the better. I kind of really enjoy having my new name. Like Chris just did not feel like me for the longest time, and I think I noticed that last year. And spring is truly, I feel like I'm growing into spring. I'm not fully spring yet, I am spring, but like the spring I want to be, which is here, I'm not there yet. But I know I will get there. I just don't feel like them yet, if that makes sense. Yeah. So just this liminal space of just figuring out my name, figuring out my life, and just wanting to get there as quick as I can. I'm just realizing I just kind of need to enjoy this in between moment as much as I can, because at the same time, I'm just not going to experience it ever again. Maybe I'll look back on this one day and kind of just giggle and just be like, hey, maybe this will be just the calmest moment of my life. And the moment I get to this new stage of my life, I'll be popping. I'll have booked interviews, or I'll have like gallery events and like exhibitions and all the stuff that I dream of doing. And I'll get really busy, and then I'll look back in the past and be like, oh, I wish I had that free time, or I wish I used more of that free time. That is quite my thoughts for the end of this year. It's also kind of funny that I'm wearing the same outfit that I was wearing when I first filmed for the beginning of this year. I truly just wore this outfit because I was like, it's getting cold in here. I need something to wear because it's getting cold. But I don't know, it's kind of a nice closing to a loop of this rough year that I've experienced. But once Saturn hits February again for next year, I'm probably going to go through a ton of changes as well. Maybe I'll be another different person again. I might change my name again. Who knows? But hopefully, wherever I am at, that I am chasing after joy, I'm living truthfully and honestly, and I'm just doing the best that I can. And that's all I can ask for. And this is the last video of 2025. And hope everyone has a great, happy new year.